Welcome to that 80s show. They call him Mr. T because Mr. S was taken. How are you, Dory?
What about Mr. W, Mr. G, Mr. D? Okay, never mind.
I assume everything up till T was taken. I assume everything up till T was taken, and then he went...
But you do make a good point. What was his real name?
Oh, yeah, I got it. Dory,
it was B.A. Baracus.
No. Oh, Dory. No. B.A. Baracus was his character in...
yes. Okay, what was
18.
his real name in real life?
Oh, Dory, this is collated. Yeah. I was only going to bring him up later, cousin Louie, but I'm going to talk about it right now. So this is what put Mr. T in my brain this week. He sends me a meme that says, Mr. T, I'm not going to say his original name yet, named himself as Mr. T because he hated how his father, uncle, and brother who returned from Vietnam were all disrespectfully called boy by white individuals. Right? Right? So he added the Mr. to his name because he wanted the first word from everyone's mouth to be Mr. when speaking to him. That is a powerful story.
Sure. That is a powerful story.
Real name?
That was a lot more serious and grown up than I was expecting.
Yeah, it was. Real name? Lawrence Tureau. Lawrence Tureau. That's Mr. T's real name.
Okay, so it is a T then. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's why he's Mr. T.
But specifically Mr. That is powerful. That's powerful stuff on that 80s show. That is powerful stuff on that 80s show. But so I want to tell you about cousin Louie. Hilarious thing that happens this week. And but first... Listen, you're probably, hopefully listening to this Friday or Saturday. You've got one day left to vote for that 80s show as the best music podcast in Africa. The APVA Awards, APVA, you'll find the link in the bio. Click on it, scroll down to music, give us a vote, and George Michael will get his wings. We guarantee it. Guarantee it. Okay, so we need those votes from you. So, from you and you. So if your name's you, vote for us. Okay.
Yes.
So let me tell you the story. So cousin Louie, contributor, number one fan of the show. He says to me, I get this message from a friend. I'm not going to out the friend. So I get the message from a friend. He says, listen, I've got this 80s song stuck in my head. I know you love the 80s. I need you to help me. Okay. So a week or two ago, we were talking about humming songs, how people would come hum a song to you when you worked at the record store, right?
Yes.
So this guy hums the song, but the song goes like this. Right? Something like that.
Yes, right.
And so he sends in the voice note. He goes, there's a song I'm looking for. It goes like this, but I can't remember the name of it. And then he goes, it was a song.
Now, if you're listening right now and you know, then give us a call. No, I'm kidding.
You will win one of Mr. T's neck chains. Okay, so that's like you go, oh, cool. Like, that's like, I mean, are you humming that song? I don't know, like, But then the same guy then literally starts giving. He goes, it was a South African song from the 80s. Yes. The guy was a one-hit wonder. The song then goes, I wanna something with you. And it was like, the guy literally told you the song, but you can't just go Google it, right? So it's like he needed cousin Louie, the 80s song generator who can identify songs with hums, gives him all the information. But it took us down we didn't go down the rabbit hole. We noticed the rabbit hole and looked at it.
Yes. we poked our baby finger into the rabbit hole.
Well, there's a rabbit hole. That song, the one-hit wonder we're talking about is, I have not literally heard this name in years, John Island. The song was called I Like. And he wasn't a one-hit wonder. He had another hit in the late 70s.
Yes, which is actually a better song. And I only discovered it for the first time last night.
Oh, so Dory, but you did say you poked a baby toe in the rabbit hole, so that's what you discovered.
Yes, we did. Yes, I did.
So you did.
But I Like came out in 1982.
Yeah, one hit wonder.
I was 8 years old.
I mean, The crazy. So
you were
I was 2.
toddler.
I was 2. I was 2 wearing my Chips helmet because I had to wear a Chips helmet because I kept hitting my head on everything. So the only link we could find for it was from, this is how old school it is, a YouTube channel that posts up old Springbok radio charts. That's the rabbit hole I found.
Yep.
I mean, phenomenal.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't even go into that rabbit hole.
Oh, yes.
I went into my own John Island rabbit hole.
Oh, no. So you found your John Island
We were in
rabbit
different
hole.
rabbit holes. No wonder we couldn't see each other.
Aren't rabbit holes connected, though? So we just entered.
Eventually.
Yeah, they are eventually. So that particular song, I learned from the Springbok radio site. It entered the charts 3rd of July 1982. And so were you 8 yet? Or you're still 7 turning 8?
So I would have turned 9 at the end of 1982. So I was 8 already.
You are 8. Its highest position was number 2. And it charted for 15 weeks. I like John Island. So
that song was huge. I remember you heard it all the time on the radio.
It was huge. You know, it's one of those things where, so off that, we're having the conversation with the celeb savant / chart savant / Barrett Edelstein. And you're saying, you know, he didn't pay that much attention to South African music. Where I was like, I think that's he paid attention more to the international charts. I was like, there were so many good songs that South Africa was making then that there were so many songs that I've subsequently discovered weren't even, like, that they were South African. Like E Void. I had no idea E Void were South African for years. I was like, these guys are so good. Rabbit.
And that was one of the, I mean, if you look at the comments on that YouTube video, so many people going, I didn't know this was a South African song.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that,
Yeah, so, what, John Island, do you think he's still alive? Should we investigate? Should we find out what's going on?
You know who might know is our friend Benji Moody.
Benji Moody.
I'll put in a call.
Yeah.
Or even Neil Johnson might.
Neil Johnson would know. Listen, we know all the guys. We know all the people. One person we do know. Oh, Dory, you missed out a treat. It's coming out in the next couple of days.
I did miss it.
You missed out a treat. We spoke to, because we're like, Wham documentary comes out. We're like, we got to speak to someone from Wham documentary. We got hold. Somebody came back to us, one of the producers. But like, to simply call him a producer is error on our part. Simon Halfin. I mean, the dude is like friends with everyone from Wham, right?
Yo.
So there's that. So he produced the Wham documentary, very good friends with Wham, very good friends with George Michael. He designed the album cover for Pride, Listen Without Prejudice. And not just George Michael, he did The Jam, he did Oasis, a whole bunch of artists that he did their album covers. So I spoke to him about that process of designing album covers. You know, what do you go through? How much do you hang out with the band? A lot, evidently.
Dude.
Oh, man.
Can I tell you something? This is something you might not know about me. When I was younger, like a young teen, let's say, I used to design my own album covers for like my favorite bands, like different ones to what they had.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
I used to literally, with Cokies, make fantasy album covers.
Dory, that's amazing.
So
I
know.
I had my cookies taken away because I kept sniffing them.
Yes, it explains a lot. Yes.
Yeah. So Simon talks to us about. I mean, I could not uncover everything in 30 minutes. He at one point goes, "Yeah, the last time I spoke to George Michael is actually sitting at this very table." I was like, "Oh my God, the table that you are sitting at."
The table he was at when you were talking to him?
The table, the desk he was at when I was talking to him. The last time he saw George Michael live, he was at that table, that desk. I was like, we talked. I had a chance to ask him. It was one of our favorite things. You and I, one of our favorite things was the scrapbooking effect in the Wham documentary. I asked him about that, explained that. Amazing. It's an amazing interview. We're busy packaging it up right now. Subscribe to that 80 Show SA wherever you get your podcast. I hate saying that, but there's no other way to say it. And you will get it going to look to release it sometime next week because we got to get on the Wham bandwagon. It's slowing down because everyone's up in Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Bandwagon.
The Wham wagon, right? Well, I'd ride
the
that.
Wham Bam wagon.
The Wham bang wagon. That I would ride that. I would ride that all day because like it's slowing down because everyone's into Barbie and Oppenheimer now. So I mean, things move so quickly. So while Wham is still like showing like in the suggested bar on Netflix, we've got to get that podcast out. It's so interesting. I love it. I love stories like that. And
I can't wait to hear it. I couldn't join you guys. So I'm so keen to hear it.
What a cool guy as well. I mean, what a nice man. And that's the thing. Like, I think it's one of the things about speaking to a kind of legacy artists or people like not currently like in the midst of the music industry is that the ego's gone, the need to prove themselves to anybody is gone. They're just like really cool people. So really enjoyed that and I can't wait for you to hear it. Cool person.
Cool.
Dori, you said to me you haven't clicked on the link yet.
I haven't clicked on any links.
You haven't clicked on any links. Did you see, the link's actually broken, Dori. This is not a good thing for me.
Oh no!
Yeah, so I'm going to jump to the next story while we get that sorted out. Watership Down. You remember that?
No.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk about it.
Why don't you want to talk about it, Dori?
Because it is everybody's shared childhood trauma.
I mean, Watership Down came out of nowhere, right? I mean, that horrible thing.
The thing.
Everyone knows what we're talking about. Everyone from our generation.
Like I actually get like a bit of a sick feeling in my stomach when I even hear the name.
Really? Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yes.
I do. So if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about.
And if I hear Bright Eyes, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It does all the things. So I've got good news, though.
Yes.
It's late news, but better late than never. Because here's the thing, right? We want to watch Watership Down. We go, oh, look, it's cool. And also they tricked us. They always showed it around Easter. And you go, oh, cool. This Easter.
Of course, because it's bunnies.
It's bunnies. This is lovely. This is a lovely little romp about Easter bunnies. No. No. We saw a bunny get ripped apart by a fierce creature. Another bunny got hit by a car. That's when Bright Eyes played.
What I remember, and it's seared into my brain, is a scene of a bunny lying dead with blood. I think the blood's coming out of its nose or something.
Yes. That's the one that got hit by the car. Because the one that got eaten, got eaten by got ripped to pieces. And you're like, oh God. Like, I just want to sit down. I'm like drunk on Easter eggs. I want to watch this lovely little rabbit cartoon. It's going to be fantastic. And this, I'm exposed to violence. No rating on it. Okay, not like we worried too much about ratings in the 80s. But 45 years later, it has finally got what they call a PG rating. Finally.
What did it have before?
None. No rating, none. It was just no parental. You as a child,
open for everyone.
Just watch it because PG goes. Oh, there's something.
So now the parents can watch the children being traumatized.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, because you're still not going to know that shit's coming. So finally, after 45 years and multiple complaints, because in the UK they take this seriously. Multiple complaints. They've finally rated it and go, you know what, this movie is very traumatic because everything's being revised now and they're kind of like reimagining a lot of stuff. But Watership Down, long overdue. They are giving it an R rating. After 5,000 video complaints, 3,500 online submissions, they said, okay, it had
and that is a drop in the ocean of the people who would have actually complained. I do like this line on the article. Film once described as one-way ticket to post-traumatic stress disorder.
It really is. How do you know someone's from the 80s? Just say, what do you think of Watership Down?
And see how they respond.
Then I know you're from the 80s. So, Dori, I cannot get this link to work. I want you to do something quickly. I want you to go to Rob Lowe's Instagram. I'm sure you go there already.
Hold on.
I'm sure you already go there. You don't even have to log in.
I'm never on Instagram.
Okay. Rob Lowe's Instagram.
Yeah.
First fun fact here is that under the profile, there is a low down line. Gives a number.
There's a what?
On Rob Lowe has a low down line, which you can call. I'm definitely doing that for the show next week.
Low down.
Do you see that?
Rob Lowe. Wait, I'm still getting there. I'm old.
How slow is your internet, Dory?
Okay, it's obviously the Rob Lowe with 2 million followers as opposed to the one that looks like a clone account.
Yeah. So the Rob Lowe with 2 million followers.
Low down low with a phone number. I see it.
So
what is it?
We'll find out. That 80 show, Intrepid Investigator is going to find that out. But I want you to look down. So earlier this week, Rob Lowe posted on his Instagram that said, "You say 80s,
Oh my
I
God,
say."
I see it.
And he posts up a photo
see
of
it.
himself, peak 80s, with Demi Moore and a shirt-opened George Michael. What a day to be alive.
Wow.
That is amazing.
I see it. That is a great picture.
I was going to say young Rob Lowe.
I mean, Demi Moore is like the ugly person in the picture.
I know. She's the only one I wouldn't want to sleep with. I mean, I was going to say a young Rob Lowe, but Rob Lowe literally has not.
I mean, he looks the same. He looks the same.
He looks better, Dory. I mean, he's got a podcast.
No, he does look better as he's aged.
And his cover artwork on his podcast is, I would never. He's selling a Rob Lowe doll. Maybe want to buy some of that. But we're going to post this up on that 80 Show SA Facebook page.
Oh my God! Look at the next post is he's saying happy anniversary to his wife of 32 years.
I know. What a fantastic.
That can't be how she looks now, because then they are both drinking the blood of children. Honestly,
you know what? And it's fine. It's actually fine. The man went through hell. Let him drink. Let him do it. Let him drink rabbit blood. The watership down rabbits, let him drink their blood.
Did you see this one comment on it? 32 years, Jesus, what? Did you pick her out as a male order ultrasound?
In case you don't know, she looks super young.
Oh my God.
Super young.
Geez.
But listen, the photo with him, with George Michael, is glorious. It looks peak 80s. George Michael has got his shirt open. He's got a shirt, but it is open. He is so bronzed. Just enough. Oh, it stopped me there before I incriminate myself. Yes, Dory.
I am stopping you there because just a couple of posts back from that, there is a Rob Lowe doll.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Did you see that?
That's what I said. Rob Lowe doll.
Did I miss it?
Rob Lowe doll.
Oh my God, I missed I missed the Rob Lowe doll. That is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be buying Barbie dolls. Everyone's talking about them right now. I want a Rob Lowe doll. I want to get a bigger picture because is he playing golf? It looks like he's in golf attire. He has a golf stick, yeah.
Yes.
Golf club. You get it with a little dog. There's a director's chair, a packet of potato chips. That's not real. That looks like his head's comped on.
What are those things in the corner?
That's his head comped on. That's not real.
That is his head pump. Yeah, that is not him.
That's not real because if you click it, you can't buy it. It takes you to a website to buy Atkins. Looks like healthy food stuff. So that's very disappointing.
Yeah, that's just a random doll that someone's put his head on.
Yeah. Oh well.
Okay, never mind.
No
never mind.
Rob Lowe doll for us. But anyway,
you can just cut that part out. Okay, so
we got the George Michael shirtless picture.
The George Michael picture is amazing. How do you find these things, or are you just always on Rob Lowe's Instagram?
I don't feel like I need to answer that. I told you, Dory, I told you the algorithm has figured me out. I get served all sorts of 80s content. All sorts.
Right.
One of my favorite features of the show is movie recommendations. Dory,
yes.
My movie I'm on my 150th movie recommendation on the show.
Are you though?
I am. I calculated. Today will be number one.
Well, then I'm not far behind. I think there's only been maybe 2 episodes where you did a movie and I didn't.
I counted 10, but I'm on 150. I counted 10. You update the spreadsheet, not me. On that 80 show, we have a spreadsheet where we log all the movies because we're definitely going to forget it. And I counted there.
But we did forget to update a bunch. So that I'm actually a bit worried that my movie this week has been done already because it's not on the spreadsheet, but it feels like it might have been done.
Ooh. Well, you know what? We're getting new listeners all the time. Some of them go back to episode 1 and listen. Some just start from here and go on the journey. So, you know what? They don't know. So we tell you about a movie. We go back to the video store of our minds. And
I will tell you, if this movie has been done, it wasn't done by me. It was done by you.
Okay, that's fine.
So it's fine that I'm doing it.
It's fine. So, Dori, regale us.
Paolo, my movie is from 1988. It is a science fiction comedy. As soon as I tell you who's in it, you're going to guess.
Dori.
But I'm going to tell you. It stars what?
Okay, name one star.
Dan Aykroyd.
Oh my God, Dori. Stop the fucking horlosie. Stop the horlosie. Stop it.
No, don't.
I feel I need a sound effect. Wait, let me go with a sound effect. I don't even know what's here. What sound effects do I have here? Aeroplane. There's an aeroplane. Woo! Yeah. Stop the horlosie. 150 movies. We finally got the same one.
No. Does yours also have Kim Basinger in it?
Outrageous. It definitely does have Kim Basinger and a dildo-shaped alien in a handbag. Dori and I do not know.
You're kidding me.
Dori and I do not know what movies the other one is going to recommend. We don't pick a theme. We don't pick whatever. We have never in 150 movie recommendations landed on the same movie until today. I swear to God, this was not planned.
I can't believe
Oh, that's a toilet sound effect.
I can't believe it.
Outrageous podcast history here on That 80 Show. Dori and I have landed eventually on the same goddamn movie because I could not believe that we have not recommended this movie up till now.
Exactly, right?
Now, very selfishly of us, no one knows what we're talking about. The movie, of course, is My Stepmother is an Alien.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, so hang on. Let's just calm down.
Okay, hold on.
Why did you choose this movie this week?
Okay, let me tell you my journey.
And then I'll tell you my journey.
I've never watched The Princess Bride. Right?
Yet.
It's a gag. I haven't watched it. It's a whole thing why I won't watch it. And I thought, you know what? For my 150th movie, let me watch The Princess Bride. And then I thought, why ruin a good running gag? Okay. And Dan Aykroyd made a lot of shit movies in the 80s. Terrible movies. No, he made good movies, he made bad movies. He was on a paycheck, right? He's discovering himself. So whenever you're looking for an odd movie, it's always safe to go back into Dan Aykroyd and find something. And I found My Stepmother's an Alien. I went, you know what? This movie is so iconic.
Yeah.
I cannot believe we've never spoken about it, so I have to do it. So nothing interesting other than Dan Aykroyd.
Okay. So.
My God.
So that means we probably haven't done it, even though I'm like, why have we never done it?
We have
so crazy.
not
even though it was a complete box office flop.
The one review I read.
It only made $13.8 million and it had a $19 million budget.
They say
it was a flop.
They say it was anally probed at the box office.
Ah.
Right.
Okay, so contrary to what people might be thinking, I didn't choose this movie this week because there has been some mumblings about aliens in the news. I got to this movie because you and I were talking about the song Obsession by Animotion earlier this week.
Correct. Yes.
I sent you the link to the music video, which, oh my God, everybody, if you have not watched that music video, go and watch it now because it is something else. It really is something else. And then I started thinking about the band, Animotion. I really love quite a few of their songs. Kind of went down the Animotion rabbit hole. Then remembered that they had a song called Room to Move on the soundtrack of My Stepmother is an Alien. And I was like, oh my God, what a great film. Let me do that. It's also got a great soundtrack, including Animotion. And little nugget, Animotion went through a bunch of changes of their lineup. And at the stage where that song came out, the person who was in the band was from Dirty Dancing, and I'm trying to think of her name. She played Penny in Dirty Dancing.
Oh, really?
Cynthia Rhodes.
Yeah,
Cynthia
really?
Rhodes. Cynthia Rhodes was in the band Animotion for a short period of time, and it was during that time that they made that song for the soundtrack of My Stepmother is an Alien. Yes.
What's a
How's that for factoids?
Oh, that is
to like twist it around into some facts.
That is elite level factoiding. That is top
so
level.
That's how I got to My Stepmother is an Alien. I went down the Animotion rabbit hole.
Amazing. So okay.
I can't believe we finally got the same movie. I can't believe it.
Here is the plot of My Stepmother's an Alien. Dan Aykroyd. You know Dan Aykroyd, really believes in aliens. He's like quite a...
Really?
Yeah, he believes totally in the supernatural. I mean, obviously he wrote Ghostbusters. And a lot of the science in Ghostbusters is because he's obsessed with this sort of stuff. So he believes in aliens, believes there's 100% aliens, believes there's bodies in Roswell. What they show him in Ghostbusters Afterlife, they meet his character and he's running like an occult shop. And they're like, no, that's 100% Dan Aykroyd. That's like totally, that's what he's like.
Yeah.
So his character is a scientist and he's got some shenanigans machine, like the Shenanigans 500, that
oh my goodness,
he's trying to send a message into space, but he can't get it right, whatever. And his brother is John Lovitz, playing like douchebag John Lovitz. I love John Lovitz.
I mean, can John Lovitz play any other role, though, than that?
If I have to ever see John Lovitz not being John Lovitz, I just won't watch it. I love John Lovitz. He even in the Critic,
the highlight of this movie.
You remember the Critic, the TV show The Critic, that animated show?
Yes.
Even in that, he was John Lovitz. I was watching Friends, and it pops up in the episode. I love John Lovitz, right? So anyway, he plays Dan Aykroyd's brother, and through shenanigans, he falls on the machine in his belt, causes the machine to malfunction, and sends this message to space that punctures this alien planet's atmosphere. And they send down an alien who takes on the form of Kim Basinger to now recreate that laser beam or whatever it was so that she can save her planet, right?
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, it makes no actual scientific sense, but we'll go with it.
No sense. So, of course, Dan Aykroyd now falls in love with Kim Basinger. And
but one of the things, and I don't know if you are getting to this, but I'm going to hop in. One of the things is that they obviously give her some knowledge of the planet she's going to, but the knowledge is very outdated and incomplete.
So she gets knowledge. Listen, we don't. You got to listen. Anyone listening, you got to come on the journey with us. We have literally never done a movie together, right? You have your movie, I have my movie. Well, okay, so we don't know how to do this. This is new territory for us, right?
You go and I'm going to jump in, and then I'm going to go and you're going to jump in.
Yeah, like if you listen to the show, you know there's no prep that happens in the show. We're just like, whatever. Things are going to happen. Okay, we're not going to go back and edit it. This is just going to happen, right? So,
but
the knowledge she gets, so she comes down to Earth, but Dory, you forget the knowledge she got was from her purse. That has an alien
snake
inside.
Thing, the weird snake alien thing in her bag. Yes,
imagine,
her handbag.
If anyone wants to imagine, it's a snake alien with an eye on the end, kind of looking like the foreskin thing from Dune. So it's kind of like a little one of that. And this lives in her handbag and gives her knowledge.
Yes,
right. So this
and power, and it has powers.
It has powers. So, it's just convenience. It's just like whatever you need to carry the plot. This bag can do. It's very inconsistent what it does all over the place. It's basically like
because like at one point she was asked for some form of ID. They were trying to get into the military facility, and the bag just spits out like hundreds of fake IDs.
Yeah, that's what it does, right?
Yeah.
So she meets up with him. He now falls in love with her, and then of course he's a widow, and his daughter
widower.
He's a widower. He's a widower. Yes, technically you're right.
And his daughter is played by
Alison Hannigan. She of one. Some people know her from Buffy. I know her from One Time at Band Camp.
One Time at Band Camp, and of course, How I Met Your Mother.
Oh yes, of course. I block How I Met Your Mother out my mind. I don't know what.
Why?
I don't know. There was so much of that show that should have been good.
No, it just went on way too long and it had a disappointing ending. But other than that, it had some really good moments.
I don't even know how it ended.
But yes, she is the one-time at band camp girl from American Pie.
Yeah.
The American Pie franchise, if you will.
So now she wants, obviously she's lost her mother. The dad's taking it really hard. She's taking it like quite okay that her mother's died. Like she doesn't really seem to have any like recessed trauma on it. And she just wants her dad. Her objective in life is to get her dad back into the dating scene. To the point that when he first comes home with Kim Basinger and they sleep together, she's super excited. And she's 13. I'm like, why are you so interested in your dad's sex life? That is very bizarre, right?
Let's just take ourselves back to the 80s where certain things were treated weirdly and differently. And that's probably one of the things that it just wouldn't go that way today.
Especially here, right?
Yeah.
So when Kim Basinger and Dan Aykroyd hook up for the first time, she doesn't know how to kiss. So the handbag now starts showing her videos of how to kiss. Then now they're going to have sex for the first time.
And porn. Shows her how, yeah.
It shows her
Debbie Does Dallas.
It shows her Debbie Does Dallas. Now, okay, that's cool. This movie had no rating. I watched this with my parents. I was like, oh my God, there is an actual porno scene. And then the scene where they sleep together is so graphic. It's like, oh my God, I would have been watching this 9 or 10 years old. And Kim Basinger's hot as shit. This is terrible. This is a nightmare. That movie should have had a higher rating.
So, I mean, I went to go see this movie on the big screen with my boyfriend at the time when I was 15. And I remember this clearly.
Awkward.
We went to the mall on a Saturday night and we went to go watch the movie together. I was 15, he was 17. Because I was in standard 8 and he was in matric. So the two of us went to watch this movie. And I mean, 15 is, I suppose, older. You were younger, so it had some raunchy scenes. There's also, I need to mention that the daughter goes to her, is it junior prom or whatever?
Yeah,
because she's young.
Yeah,
and the boy she goes with, the boy who pitches up at the house to collect her, is Seth Green. I mean, a really young Seth Green.
Although Alison Hannigan and Seth Green, if you're watching this, those two have just not aged. I don't know if it's a redhead thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Like they look exactly the same, but like a stretched out version. They look like, remember when the Archie comics did Kid Archie? And they look exactly like Archie.
Yes.
That's exactly what
But shrunken.
That's exactly what they look like. It must be a redhead superpower that these two don't age.
Totally. Did you notice Juliette Lewis in the movie?
I did. She was a bridesmaid or like a pseudo bridesmaid.
And she was blonde.
Blonde hair.
She was blonde and she was... It was her first movie. It was her first movie that she was ever in. Which I'm like, very small. In 1988, I feel like she should have been in movies before that.
I also feel Juliette Lewis has never aged. I feel she's always the character she was in not Pulp Fiction, Natural Born Killers. I can never see her as anyone other than that. Yeah. That's just who she is.
Yeah, she is often that character, actually. So
true story.
Yeah.
So
true story.
Everything's happy and Alison Hannigan's happy. My dad's got a stepmother. My dad's happy. And then she starts noticing Kim Basinger doing weird things, right? The one part
like eating batteries.
It's a scene that you go, I haven't thought of that scene in ages. And then as you see it, you're like, oh my God, remember that scene? Because that's how she gets her power. She sucks batteries and gets power out of batteries. But you know what was even funnier?
Yeah, the battery scene's cool. But you know what was even funnier? When Kim Basinger first arrives, and she arrives at a party that John Lovitz is throwing.
Yes.
And she walks in, and there's a woman holding a plate of food and like a plate full of cigarette butts that she's going to throw away.
Yes.
And the woman walks up to her and says, hors d'oeuvre. And she takes the cigarette butt, chews it, and goes, delicious.
It is outrageous. Also,
and it's like, oh my God, I'd forgotten that scene, but how iconic is that scene? It's totally iconic.
I know. It's a movie that you go, may not have seen this movie in ages, but I saw it so much. And also the part where Kim Basinger's body just basically doubles up so she can check up her dress to see what's going up there. That as well.
Oh my God, that was funny.
You know, one thing to say, the seduction scene with Kim Basinger and Dan Aykroyd, she seduces him to pump up the volume, which I've tried.
Yes.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work trying to seduce people to pump up the volume, but it worked for Kim Basinger. So now Alison Hannigan now sees her and says, this isn't a human, tries to warn her father. Father says, I knew this was going to happen, blah, 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 blah. Shenanigans. The other aliens from the planets are like, you're taking too long. Our planet's dying. We're going to destroy this planet as revenge. Now Kim Basinger's fallen in love with people. She's got now morals, and they do things, and it gets 80s silliness as a plot to resolve.
Lots of silliness. Yes.
Everyone lives happily ever after. You'll be happy to know.
Of course. Can we just quickly mention, I've already mentioned Room to Move by Animotion. You've mentioned Pump Up the Volume by Mars. The other iconic song on the soundtrack, Kiss, Art of Noise featuring Tom Jones.
Yeah. And the soundtrack on this
is a great soundtrack. It's a great soundtrack. There's also songs like Cameo. Anyway, just wanted to mention that.
Great soundtrack.
Why was this movie a flop? Let's think. Why was this movie a flop? Dan Aykroyd, Kim Basinger, sci-fi comedy. That feels like all good ingredients.
I know. It doesn't make sense. It's sometimes these movies, I think if we look into it, you'll probably find that it opened up the same weekend as something else.
Yeah.
Like an Indiana Jones or Back to the Future or something. You'll find... It was, even in terms of 80s silly, it's really silly. It's really just, but I mean, I suppose people would have to watch it to know it's silly. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just looking here. It was it was supposed to be released on November 23rd. It was pushed to December 9th. But the film premiered on December 3rd, 1988 in Washington, D.C., an event attended by stars Aykroyd and Basinger, as well as President George H.W. Bush. What?
Oh, no, it's very
First
weird.
Lady Barbara Bush and Vice President Dan Quayle were also there. What?
That is a weird bunch of people you invite to a film premiere.
That is so weird. So weird.
I want to mention something else.
Upon general release, Mayor of Los Angeles Tom Bradley declared December 9th Stepmother Day to honor the importance, dedication, and contribution of stepmothers everywhere and an appreciation of the film shooting in Los Angeles.
That is so bizarre. Why? I know. It just had everything in it that it should have. But you know what I think it is?
John Lovitz, come on.
You know what I think it is I think it really shows the power of Siskel and Ebert at the time. They were two film critics in the 80s.
And they said it was shit.
They said it was shit. People just wouldn't go watch it. They just go, no, I'm not going to waste my time going to watch that.
Damn it.
I think that was the reason. One of the weird scenes that pops up in it is the dildo alien now is trying to get Dan Aykroyd's boss and trying to trick him or whatever, and he phones him as a scientist. The guy who voiced it is
as Carl Sagan.
Yeah, is Harry Shearer. Now Harry Shearer does a ton of voices on The Simpsons, including Principal Skinner, and in that scene it's a preemptive Principal Skinner voice. You got to check it out. I'll try to find that exact scene.
No, I know exactly what
it sounds like Skinner's phoning him. So that is wild. I also, just before we wrap up on this, I want to talk about, because I know you would appreciate it, John Lovett's house. Where they have, oh my word, 80s. John Lovett is a sleazeball.
It's not the Ruthless People house, but it's not bad.
It's got things. He's got a gimp suit in his office for some weird reason. John Lovett has a fantastic house. Oh my God, Dory, I'm so glad of all movies we both landed on. My Stepmother is an Alien. Our 150th movie review, 100% not planned. What a fantastic moment for you and I this is. And you know what? If that isn't deserving of the best music podcast in Africa, I mean,
what is?
I really don't understand. Well done to us. Well done to us.
Well done indeed.
I feel we need a sound effect to close off. Let me find another sound effect. I think, what is this? There. Car. Car sound effect.
It sounded like it was a car about to crash, but I won't take it like that way. It's fine.
Well, apt for this car crash of a show. This is That 80 Show. Celebrity scandals, Dory. We were talking about Rob Lowe earlier. And he was scandalous. I want to talk to you about some other celebrities.
He had some scandals.
Oh, he had some scandals. Is it on this list? You know what? But he wasn't so scandalous. Oh, it is on this list. He had a leaked sex tape. And not only was it a leaked sex tape, he was 23 and the girl in the video, was 16.
Yes, we've spoken about it on the show before.
Not great. But that was a turning point in his life. He was like, oh, shit, I'm going one way. And he completely turned it around. So it's not great at the time, but he completely turned it around. I want to talk about some other celebrity scandals we forgot. We've spoken about this one before, but when Madonna got denounced by the Vatican for her Papa Don't Preach video, or the Like a Prayer video, I lie. Remember that? Remember that video?
Yes.
Oh, listen.
Yes.
She was burning crosses, Madonna. Like,
she wanted. She was looking for trouble.
I mean, you don't do that. So you don't burn a cross. This was another one that kind of like disappeared. It comes up every now and again because obviously Matthew Broderick and Jennifer Grey married. But in the 80s, they were on holiday and they had a collision. They ended up killing the other driver, the driver of the other car back in the 80s.
It says the driver and her mother.
Oh, that's both of them obviously not hurt.
I didn't know this.
Didn't you know that?
I did not know this story.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah, he was sentenced to jail, but of course didn't obviously serve time. He was only fined $175. That's terrible.
Oh my goodness, that is terrible.
I remember this one because
and it says that he was driving dangerously.
Yeah.
So it was his fault. Oh, I did not know this.
I remember this one because I think a lot of kids in the 80s wanted to do this when Corey Feldman sued his parents.
I do remember this.
To be illegally emancipated. I mean, was that not the most 80s thing ever? I was like, you know what, I'll just sue you. And to just be, raise myself. And
I think that he had a good enough reason, actually.
What did they do?
I think it was valid.
What did they do?
They stole all his money.
Everyone I mean, if I had a famous kid, I'd steal their money. What are you going to do? It's not stealing.
Right.
They're under 18. It's not stealing. I don't think that's. Do you think that's bad? I mean, was he living in the shed? No, I assume he was living in a very nice house.
I think they squandered his money is the correct word.
Okay. Look, he says it set him on the path to drug and alcohol addiction. But it's quite funny. In the 80s, I was like, I'm all about suing my parents. And now as a parent, I'm like, don't sue me. You're getting the money. What are you talking about? Piss off here.
Of course.
We remember this one of Ozzy Osbourne biting the head off a bat. Was that
real or was that like a special effect?
That's what I'm saying.
Why do I feel like it wasn't real?
He maintains that he thought it was a rubber bat. So someone threw it on the stage. He thought it was a rubber bat, picked it up and bit it. But blood immediately came out of his mouth. What are you talking about? That's no way. I
remember that picture. But it says here that it was a fan who'd thrown it on stage, and the fan confirmed that it had been dead long before he threw it on stage. So someone threw a dead bat onto the stage. Let's start there.
No, it adds. It adds up. That is, you're going to go watch Ozzy Osbourne in the 80s.
But then I do remember that picture of the blood all over Ozzy's chin. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
It was really gross.
Huge. Yeah. Still know about it today. Vanessa Williams. Oh, I haven't heard of her in ages. This was huge. She won Miss America, and then almost as soon as she wins, photos of her in Penthouse pop up. And they're like, no, that is not Miss America. We're out of here. You are not doing that. How times have changed.
Yeah.
Angelica Houston and Jack Nicholson ending their relationship. But why? Is that controversial?
Why is that a scandal? I don't understand.
Despite referring to Houston as the love of his life, Nicholson was persistently unfaithful, eventually conceded a child with actress Rebecca Broussard, and they were still together. 80s, what people, Hollywood people break up. That's not very interesting. The only reason I know about the next two, Jim and Tammy Faye Baker, is that the Mad magazine were always making fun of them. And so they were televangelists. And they were not good people. They were just stole money from their church, scammed people, infidelity. They were just not great people.
No.
Not great people.
Unlike all other people who run large churches.
Hey, there's you can add story, not me. Sean Penn. Also, we forget about Sean Penn. Him and Madonna, not a good
I'm currently
fit.
listening to the Smartless interview with Sean Penn, actually.
Yeah. I'm sure he comes across well.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. You know, he's one of my favorite actors. Always has been, always will be. I know that there was some controversy, you know, when he was with Madonna. But, you know, I can separate the person from their art.
I think that's
so
what's
I still love him.
I think you can do that. Marvin Gaye, I mean, such a sad story about him is that
this is a terrible story.
He was shot and killed by his father. His parents were fighting. He intervened, and that was the end of Marvin Gaye.
Not a good family life. Yeah, no, it was a terrible story.
No, unfortunately, different.
But the dad literally received a 6-year suspended sentence,
and a lifetime of guilt.
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses guitarist Izzy Stradlin arrested for publicly urinating on an airplane. Go and water is wet. I mean, what are you talking about? Guns N' Roses person pisses in an airplane. I mean,
but why?
Because he's Guns N' Roses.
Oh my God, he got the nickname Wizzy from that. Oh, I don't remember that.
No, of course. There's another baseball one, Pete Rose. People who know he got banned for using drugs. We got Rob Lowe on there. This one popped out that I didn't know about. Kenneth Clay. Oh no, Todd Bridges. He was on what show was he on? He was. What are you talking about, Willis? Right?
Oh, okay.
Isn't he?
What was that show called?
What you talking about, Willis? That's what the show is called.
No, it wasn't.
It's so infuriating because it's about the 80s and it says that everybody hates Chris Starr, but he is what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's
Willis.
not from the 80s.
No.
Come on.
Talk about it. They probably couldn't even remember the name of the show either. But he is the Willis.
I'm looking it up, but carry on telling us the
fact
story.
check that quickly, Dory. Fact check that.
I am fact checking
Bridges.
it.
What show is he in?
With Gary. I can't even think of Gary's surname.
Gary Coleman.
Wow, we're old.
Gary Coleman.
Yes, Gary Coleman. That was it.
It wasn't Silver Spoons. It was Different Strokes. Wasn't
Different Strokes. That was it.
That was Different
Strokes from. No, it started in the 70s, went into the 80s.
Yeah. So Todd Bridges had a couple of run-ins with the law throughout the 80s. He was fined for carrying a concealed weapon. He received a suspended sentence after pleading no contest to making a bomb threat in 1987. And Bridges was subsequently acquitted of the charges stemming from the shooting in 2 separate criminal trials. What you talking about, Willis? Indeed. We're going to talk about this one in the Olympics. It came up in Working Title FC, the sports podcast I host, about Ben Johnson. This was a big story at the time. Ben Johnson winning gold
I remember
in
that.
the 1988
I
Olympics.
remember that.
And a lot of steroids. And kind of like when you look at him, you go, yes, indeed he was using steroids. Not only was he twice the size of other very strong men, he was also ridiculously fast. I think he set the world record at the time, and then, of course, stripped of his medal.
But Usain Bolt is ridiculously fast, and maybe they just haven't found the drugs that he uses.
No, you know what? You can look at the build of somebody, and, okay, listen, I understand it's time, and they got masking agents, and Usain Bolt, just everything about him looks like Usain Bolt is built to run that fast. Ben Johnson was massive. He was built like a boxer, and he was putting up speeds of like 9.7. Come on, that's like straight away. Like, at least try to hide it. So at least if anybody else and Usain Bolt and people are using performance-enhancing drugs, at least they're trying to hide it. Ben Johnson was like, he's running with needles in his arm. I mean, what are you talking about? And I remember this one, not so light-hearted, but it was a massive thing at the time when Princess Diana would openly touch people with HIV/AIDS. And people were losing their minds over it. And she was like, no, she's shaking hands and hugging. And people were like, no, how far we have come. And there was a major, major controversy. So those are some controversies from the 80s we've kind of forgotten about. One of my favorite people from the 80s, Dory, Dolph Lundgren, he of the nipples.
You mean some of your favorite nipples from the 80s?
Yes, some of my favorite nipples of the 80s that happened to catch a ride on Dolph Lundgren's chest. So a few weeks ago, he reveals that he'd been battling cancer for years, a secret cancer battle. He recently tied the knot to his girlfriend of 4 years, Emma Crockdale. Kind of Kardashian looking.
She is how old? How old is she?
She...
I'm just asking because they've been together 4 years. That means when they met, she was 23.
I did not put that together.
I'm not judging. I'm just saying he's 65. She's 27. They've been together 4 years. She was 23 when they got together. Hey, I'm not going to...
Dolph's going to dolph.
Yuck. I'm not going to yuck someone's yum. It's all good. They must do their thing.
And, I mean, how dare we even think of yucking Dolph's yum, right? Marrying a 23-year-old. He's got a video here where he explains what it was like explaining to his kids that he's marrying someone younger than them. I mean,
oh, my God.
It has to be.
Oh, my God.
His kids have to be at least the same age as her.
No, they're definitely older. Think about it.
Definitely older. Well, you know,
think about it. They're probably in their 30s or 40s.
Good on Dolph Lundgren. You know what I mean? You know, if you can do those things.
You know what? He still looks really good. He still looks really good. And let's assume that he's an awesome person.
Oh, I think he is.
And let's assume that this is real love.
Of course.
Because then it's a lovely story.
Of course it is. Of course it is. His nipples were not available for comment.
Wait, this picture of them in a pool in what looks like the most beautiful setting. Where is this? That pool is so blue.
Very blue.
Tomorrow is that, Mykonos. You see?
It's very Mykonos looking.
Mykonos.
Very, I didn't look at that photo because his nipples are covered. I tell you, if I saw a hint of a nip, I would have noticed that photo. I didn't even see it. Dory, I want to end off with something. This article really caught my attention. The algorithm just finds me. Man plays covers of 1980 songs to rescued cows. Man plays covers of 1980 songs to rescued cows. His name is Ryan Phillips. He's the founder of the Life with Pigs Farm Sanctuary in Williamsburg, Virginia. And he rescues cows, right?
From what?
I suppose from
aliens? From what?
I'd imagine like maybe injured cows.
I didn't know there was such a problem of cows needing to be rescued.
I know, like errant cows, like maybe cows who've been on other farms and got sick, or maybe people relocated, or they
cows that were going to be slaughtered, and maybe he's a vegan activist.
Maybe. So we don't have that information, but he runs let's click on this. The Life with Pigs Farm Sanctuary. Is Life with Pigs Farm provides forever homes to farm animals in need and compassion-filled educational experience to the public. So we can donate here. It talks about the sanctuary About Us. Dedicated to educating people about the injustices faced by animals and how we can better coexist. How it came to be. Woke up in the middle of the night. I got a message in the middle of the night asking if I'd be willing to adopt a former breeder pig named Pumpkin that had just had her last round of babies. So I suppose these are like farm animals that are maybe, I don't know, like...
They're not going to go to slaughter, but nobody wants them. They've got no home, but they can't like live with other animals maybe. Because they've only ever been pets maybe.
Maybe they're pets, maybe they're fine. Hey, listen, I think it's great. I mean, you're not judging. I think it's phenomenal.
I mean, I'm not clicking on any of these videos, but just the shot that is on the video of like the cow and him looks... The cows and him look very close. That's all I'm going to say. They look very affectionate with each other.
You know what? It's actually lovely. So I'm going to play you some of these. So what this guy does as part of his rehab, he plays 80s hair band songs predominantly to cows as part of the therapy. Now we're going to put this link up on that 80s show. We're going to play some of the music. These cows love him. Like you don't think of a cow as being affectionate, okay? Like you don't.
No.
Like it's just not something you put with a cow. These cows definitely love him, right? So this guy is a hell of a singer, okay? Here is one of the songs he's singing to his cow, Jenna, his bestie cow.
It's all the same. Only the needs to change every day.
Now, Dory, you've seen pictures of this guy. Tell me you expected a voice like that coming out of him.
I mean, wow. Like, I did not expect that.
He is like farmer guy. I mean, he is like not spectacular looking, got shorts and t-shirts, weird little cap. The boy can sing.
And play guitar. Like,
so that was him singing. And I mean, if you watch the video, you see how affectionate the cows are to him. They absolutely love the guy.
Cows love it.
They love him.
They love it.
Here's another one where his playing gets hampered by the cow just rubbing her head on him.
You're cruel, device, your blood like ice. One look could kill my pain, your thrill. I wanna love you, but I better not touch. Don't wanna hold you, but my senses tell me to stop. I wanna kiss you, but I wanna do.
I mean, Alice Cooper, Poison.
I kind of love this. I really do.
You're going to love the last one because
Okay.
you're going to love the last one.
Tell me it's too look on the top. You went on check. He's down on his luck. It's tough. It's so tough. Gina works a diner all day, working for a man. She brings home a paper love. It's for love. She says we gotta hold on to what we got. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. We got each other, and that's a lot for love.
I mean, on that in particular one, the cow is literally jamming with him.
I do think you need to share what you had written on our show notes with our listeners. You said 80s music is moving.
I'm so disappointed in myself because I couldn't think of more puns, but I'm like, I would not have the discipline to not call myself Bovine Jovi if I could sing Living on a Prayer to Cows. Oh, it is a lovely, lovely story. And you know what? In celebration of Ryan Phillips and the Life with Pigs Farm Sanctuary, I'm gonna eat a salad today. I won't have a burger. I'll eat a salad because of him and his lovely, lovely cows.
Well done.
Him and his lovely cows.
Congrats.
Put that up on that 80 show is a Facebook page. What a momentous day this was. Movie recommendations for number 150. Dory and I finally stumbled into the same movie together.
How weird.
Critics
Just
will say
going back
you ran out
to-
of movies.
Yeah,
Critics
sorry.
will say you ran out of 80s movies.
No, that's not true at all. This will probably never happen again, let's be honest.
Or not happen for another
Speaking
150.
of our another 150 episodes, assuming we have that many,
Oh,
yes.
yes.
Vote for us and then we'll have many more.
Of course.
Speaking of our Facebook page, you posted a picture of an old two-rant note.
Oh. People love that sort of content. People love it. That 80 show essay.
I showed it to my kid, and the response was, "Wow, that looks like apartheid."
Oh, okay. Good observation.
I mean,
It was, but there's so many people and people even commenting. They say, because we said you just got your 1980s R2 allowance. What are you buying? And I got a comment that said, I'm buying $2. Okay.
oh wow.
Oh, but so many things there. Of course, people going straight to the arcade, buying Garbage Pail Kids. There was a.
You're buying Garbage Pail Kids. I'm buying a pan burger and chips and sweets at the cafe.
And still had change from that R2 note. You'd still buy pan burger, chips, drinks with that 2 Rand note. People are going to the OK Bazaar and buying records. It's all happening. That 80 Show SA Facebook page, everything we spoke about today, you can find there, including the loving, moving 80s music and glorious photos of Rob Lowe. Handsome ass man. Dori, any final thoughts for our listeners today?
Sure. Just, keep on trucking.
Oh boy, thanks for joining me.
My mind.
Thanks for joining me, Dori. Bye.
Bye.